Afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Godpower Chinedu Michael. I practice at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Kano, Nigeria. Before I continue, I want to sincerely thank the Faculty of Family Medicine, WACP, for this rare privilege to facilitate this section of the program. I'll be presenting or introducing the personal development plan and talk a little about effective feedback from our trainers. I've decided to use this format, briefly introduce the keywords in the title, and talk briefly about effective feedback in the context of the personal development. And we'll watch a demonstration video on giving effective feedback, and the Q&A will follow. The personal development plan is one of the tools you find within the training portfolio. This form that you find in the portfolio is expected to be filled by the trainee at the beginning of the residency program and usually updated at regular intervals as the objectives are met within the timelines given. It is a personal document to the trainee, and its content is usually tailored to the needs of the trainee in the context of the residency program. I adapted this from the portfolio. This is how the form looks. You find the personal development plan written on top, and you have the dates when for each objective that is being considered, the beginning of activities and the end of activities. And the second row, or the first column on the left, you find the agreeing learning objectives. The personal development plan is a plan or proposal that contains a list of objectives. And these objectives are supposed to be SMART objectives. They must be specific, they must be measurable, they must be attainable, they must be realistic or relevant, and they must be time bound, just like we do in research. We talk about in research. So you'll find that in the second column, you see objectives, you see how can these objectives be achieved. The important thing to say is a PDP, or the personal development plan. Things are written down. You don't take them to heart, you write them down. The trainee is expected to write each objective that he has in mind to fulfill and state down how these objectives can be achieved. And then you talk about what's the evidence. How do we know that the achievement of the objective has been met? So it must be measurable. It should be certain things that are verifiable, not subjective, something that is objective, that can be objectively verified by the trainer. And in fact, the time scale, or the number of months or number of weeks that it will take to achieve these activities must be written down. The next row, you find supervisor feedback. We will discuss a little about supervisor feedback later, but this is an integral part of the personal development plan in the portfolio. That is to say, there must be regular intervals of meetings between the trainee and trainer, where the supervisor reviews this plan and asks relevant questions and give relevant advice on how to achieve the set objectives. And you also see a place for evaluation of the level of achievement and the scoring that you find. And at the end of the plan, you should be signed, suggesting that this plan has to be discussed, has to be agreed upon, and both parties will sign with date. Here, on this slide, talking about supervisor's feedback. Feedback is a specific information on the comparison between a trainee's observed performance and a set of standards. But this information is passed to the trainee with the intent to improve the trainee's performance. It's very key. Feedbacks promote learning in three ways. One, it informs the trainee of their progress. It informs the trainee about weaknesses observed during uh, uh, during the process and the need for improvement. Thirdly, feedbacks motivate the trainee to engage in appropriate learning activities. So, you can agree with me that giving or receiving feedback is not an easy task and poses significant challenges for both those giving the feedback and those receiving the feedbacks. However, there are several models used to give feedback to trainees. But the Pendleton model stands out as one trainee-centered model for providing effective feedback to trainees. The trainer in this setting, in this model, needs to check whether the learner wants and is ready to receive feedback. It is recommended that the trainer uses open-ended questions and give the trainee the opportunity to think and reflect. In this model, as depicted in this diagram, you'll find where the right employees should be replaced with trainee, and the manager with the trainer or supervisor. You find there are 4 columns there: positive, improvement, action plan, and summary. But the beauty of this model is in the feedback, in the discussion, you find that the discussion starts with the trainee. If you are discussing, it starts from the positives. Let him describe or her describe the things that have gone well, that he has done well. Following that, the trainer now can comment on what went well. And in fact, talk about why it was done well. Where he has commented on that, it should be commended. The next is to talk about areas of weakness or areas of improvement. Here, also give the trainee the opportunity to highlight the areas he should have done better with. And following that, the trainer comes in to address these areas of improvement. Following that, again, you go to the area of action plan. Yes, we have identified some areas of improvement. Please tell me how you will, or describe how you will go about improving these areas of weakness. So the trainee is given the liberty of thinking and reflecting and preferring solutions. After the trainee have done that, you now approve or disapprove or support whatever he has. Alternatively, give better ways or better activities that could be done to reach the desired objective. And lastly, you ask the trainee to summarize the key points in the discussion, and then the trainer wraps up the discussion. Again, it is important to also state here there are barriers to effective feedback, which could, there are legion. You could find not sticking to specific parts, not discussing what is in the plan, on the agreed plan, and having no solutions to the areas of weakness that have been identified in the plan. When the trainer does not get the respect from the trainee, if there's lack of respect from the trainee, that is a big problem. fear of upsetting colleagues, especially when during the discussion, the way you say it and what you say upsets the trainee, and it discusses with some other people who have been involved in training of the colleague. So that could damage relationships, professional relationship between the trainer and other members of the profession of the team. And defensive behaviors when receiving prayer are quite common, especially when they are not involved in reaching certain decisions concerning them, especially their weaknesses. Physical barriers are also important to be considered when fixing a feedback section. Noise, distractions, improperly timed feedback sections could be uh, things to address. Personal agendas. I know even if I tell this trainee this, he will not take it. So they are already prefixed mindsets. And in the part of the trainee, I know he doesn't like me. Whatever I do, he will say, I didn't do it well. So these personal agendas lead to ineffective feedback. Lack of confidence in the part of the trainer. You can't give what you don't have. And here I want to thank faculty for the TOTs for helping us know more about giving effective feedback. Thank you so much. These are my references. We will now watch the video section and the Q&A will continue. Thank you. God bless you.